Yeah, happy birthday, man. We just wanted to call you. Me and Damon just wanted to call you and say happy birthday.
Yes, I appreciate that. Thank you.
What you up to?
Sitting here, getting ready to feed Blue soon, and Karen was looking at this thing before she leave. We had went out and got platters from down the Rick Terminal.
Oh well, tell her we said hi too.
They said hi, Karen.
Do that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Damon, I got Damon hair too.
Yeah. We want to say, happy birthday. And what you got planned for the big birthday? Mr. Day, what you got going on?
We already do what I had going on, but Saturday we're going to the car show. We didn't go last year. We usually go every year.
Oh,
but
nice.
We didn't go last year, so we're going there this Saturday. It's funny.
Yeah. Well, man, you like one of our biggest supporters, so we had to call you and show you some love, and we appreciate, we appreciate
definitely. From episode 1 to episode finna be 63 right now.
Yeah. Even on YouTube, like YouTube is her format of choice.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we definitely appreciate it. Mom, I got a question though, Mom. Like, what make you keep watching it? Like, why are you still watching
it? I watch it because I like your personalities together, and then I get to see your face.
Yeah. And
also, I liked it because I'm learning stuff about the Navy, but it's not always just about the Navy. It's other topics. It's funny. It's informative. And I just enjoy watching y'all. I like watching y'all together, too. Y'all make a good team.
Yeah. Is it safe to say, though, that you team Damon, though, even though we make a good team?
I'm going to always be your team, Dama. You're my son. But I like Damon, too.
Yeah, it's okay to be team Damon. It's okay. It's all right.
Well, now I got, kind of took Damon on as another son, like Rel and Quan and them. And now Damon.
Most definitely.
And I like the way Damon talk. I like he talks Southern and it's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got another question, Mom, since we got you on here. When I told you I was going to the military, like, what were your initial thoughts?
It was scary. It was hard because you had never left like that, and I didn't understand, what was going on. I was happy for you because I knew you were going to travel, but I was scared at the same time because I knew nothing about the military at all. I knew about them, but I didn't know the process of what the person goes through when they go in there. And it's like, once you went there, then I automatically became a part of the military too.
Yeah.
Like to you. And then I didn't hear from you for that whole time you was in the boot camp?
Yeah, that was boot camp. Yeah.
It wasn't no phone contact or wasn't nothing. You ain't know whether your child was dead or alive or whatever. But like I said, I was happy that you were going somewhere to travel, but in the same time, I didn't understand the military. I didn't have my uncles went to the military, but that wasn't like my child,
Yeah. It was either jail or the military, right? For me, it was either jail or the military.
It wasn't no jail. You never was like
choice.
Jail or the military. You let them know, Mom, a life of crime. Like, I was living a life of crime, and I had to make a decision. I had to make so.
But you was doing good. You just kept working. Remember at Wendy's and
everywhere.
All them stores, and that was scary. You was coming home late, and so when you said you was going, I was kind of shocked because you really wasn't. You always was, remember, like against the government stuff, and
right?
When you came back from Jacksonville, Florida, you said you had made a decision to go in the military.
Yeah, because they all had Benzes and BMWs. That was attractive. I ain't get a Benz yet.
It was scary, but I was happy you was getting out of Philly and stuff.
Yeah, all right, Mom. Well, I know Miss Karen there. I got a couple more questions for you. You got any advice for us? Just like life advice. I'm not gonna ask you your age, but you got life advice for me and Damon. Damon got the bad back. He just got surgery. my knee messed up.
My back been messed up for years, so I'm proud that you got your back fixed like while you young, because mine is still messed up. And I ain't getting surgery at this age. But it will cause other stuff to get messed up, like your knees and everything. So I'm proud that you got your back fixed.
Thank you.
What pain pills all your life and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So how's it feel, man? Another year on Earth. How's it feel?
Well, with everything that's going on now, people getting killed by people and people shooting in markets and 5 cops killing people, I feel blessed this year. No matter how messed up I am, I feel blessed because people that died from the COVID and, I lost a lot of people in church and everything that been going on, I feel blessed. I might not be rich. I might not be a movie star. I might not be an entertainer, but I am blessed. I am so blessed. So, because sometimes having money ain't everything. Look at Elvis Presley's daughter and Michael Jackson, and the money ain't everything all the time.
Yeah.
Blessings is what you've done to help people. And, your blessings is seeing your children and your grandkids do some things that you didn't do. That's a blessing too.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought up grandkids. If one of your grandkids told you they wanted to go to the military, what would you say?
I would, think it's a good idea. I don't have nothing against the military.
Okay. And then my last question is, I got so many questions. I could talk a million, we could talk, but my last question is that something I probably never even asked you about before is, you got any advice for new military moms, like moms in the same position as you were? Any advice?
Well, I guess by now a lot has changed, but, I would tell them that it's a good idea. It gives the child the chance to travel. And sometime when they go somewhere, you could go where they are. And I feel blessed that some of the places you've been, I've only seen on TV.
Yeah.
So I feel blessed to know that I've learned some things through you going in the military. Some stuff about other countries and, the other one, where was that when you went and you saw Jesus' tomb and stuff?
Jerusalem.
Yeah. So, and you made me a video showing me, your travels and stuff. So I would tell them to just have faith and know that at least the child ain't not going to be in Philly, but it also gives them a chance to travel and see things. And it's a good thing. It's a blessing. It's scary at first, but then you get used to it after a while, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, Mom, like I said, we just wanted to call you real quick, say happy birthday. Hopefully you enjoying your birthday. I always come in the back and I might have something up my sleeves. You know what I'm saying? On the back end.
Well, no parties. Please don't plan me no surprise.
Ain't no parties, man. I did a party for my dad. You can't do a party for both of your parents in the same year. I think that's corny.
Right.
Like that.
That
ain't
much
cool.
Unmanageable stuff.
Yeah, that ain't cool. Try 2 parties in a year for your parents, man. That ain't cool, man.
All I wanted today was some soul food that I didn't have to cook.
Yeah, did you like it?
No, it wasn't as good as I thought.
It's always that too. You be pumped up, ready to go, and then it don't be as good. Man.
Yeah, but Brahim, my other son, had told me that, but the place that we used to get the food from, they closed. It was called Miss Tootsie's. Yeah. So, it was okay, but I could tell it was canned sweet potatoes. I don't make canned sweet potatoes.
Oh man, not from the spot. All right, man. Look, we gotta let you go, man. But love you. We love you. I love Miss Karen, and enjoy the rest of your birthday night.
And I love y'all, and keep doing what y'all doing. Okay.
Thank you.
Pay attention, because you are now listening to Permission to Speak Freely.
Hey, y'all ever been in a head? It's sad that we got to start this way. I feel so bad about this, right? But you ever been in a head, not doing a number one, right? Sorry, Tish, but we talk about shit every now and then, right? But you ever been in a head, not doing a number one and somebody walk in the stall? Anybody ever been through that?
Nah.
My kids, yeah.
Up, man.
But
ain't none of y'all ever been through that?
I don't know.
Like somebody walking on you taking a shit?
Like, let's say, like, yeah, a common occurrence of you taking a shit and like somebody, you know, they go to the stall, you think it's latched all the way, but it ain't really latched like good enough. And they just like, so you don't want to tell them like, hey, I'm in here, you know, because you think when they try the door, it's not going to open, but they try the door, it does open, and y'all eye to eye. Y'all ain't never go through that?
Hey.
All right, okay. All right, so if y'all ain't never go through that, let's go straight to do better.
Hold up. I have been through that, but there ain't no eye to eye, though. I kind of catch it, push the door like, I'm in here, or some shit like that. We don't go eye to eye, bro. Like,
I used to. All right, so all right, I got a confession, right? And like I said, I never been through it either. So we can go straight to do better. But I got a confession though. I used the handicap. The handicap commode.
Okay.
So like you can't get to the door to block it. But like I said, I never been through that. So let's go straight to do better.
Hold up, bro.
Do better.
Always on you, bro. Say what's up.
I never been through it. That ain't how my week went.
Bro.
That's not how my week went.
Okay,
so let's go straight to do better. You know, none of us here, you know, we just said it. None of us ever been through nothing like that. Nobody ever walked in the stall when you been in the stall, thought the latch was locked, and both of y'all thought the latch was locked, and then they looked at you.
It sounds like somebody been through it.
I don't know. Shit, I don't know. Maybe one of us. Who knows?
Might be.
Hey, do better. Amazon, right? I'm going to get straight to it, man. You know, Tish might not agree with this, but look, let me talk to you, Amazon. Look, let's talk real quick. Let me paint the picture. So like, you know, it's people that's savvy about audio video equipment, right? And then there's some people that's not as savvy because not everybody's an audio video guru, right? But us audio video people know you can't go to Amazon to get audio video equipment. I'm talking about like cameras and microphones and stuff like that, because it's been said that Amazon makes like dummy products and deal with like bad manufacturers, and they give you bad stuff, right? So first of all, my first do better, I give it to myself, because as we getting all this equipment, you know, Tish been getting equipment and all this stuff. I think she said she was going to grab something from Amazon. And I think in my head, I was like, yo, Amazon, they get people though. Like, should I tell her? And I didn't tell her. You know what I'm saying? And then she got a mic, right? She got a mic from Amazon, and they gave her a bogus mic, man.
It was bogus.
Yo, Amazon, y'all wrong for that. Like y'all wrong for that, man. You know what I'm saying? And she ain't want me to get at y'all because she love y'all. I love y'all too, but y'all can't do people dirty like that. If you make the fried chicken good 20 times, if you fuck up the 21st time, I gotta holler at you, man.
Yeah, man. I'll take one, bro.
I gotta holler at you, man.
I want to take one.
Y'all didn't gave it a mic without the plugins in the back.
There was no plug. Like, it was just one, and that was it. Bro. And then I bought the other cord to try to like plug in. Like, okay, let me buy the cord separately to plug into the laptop, and that didn't work. That didn't work either. Trash. So I don't know if it was the cord, if it was the mic, if it was both. I don't know. But to Amazon's defense.
Amazon, you defending Amazon? Listen. Before you defend it, did you see the back of your mic? I need you to send Dumbo a picture of the back of your mic and then let Dumbo post that shit. You should be defending them on shit.
The back of her mic was in the buff. The back of her mic was naked, yo.
Oh my goodness, man. That mic was crazy.
Naked ass mic.
And no components. They said figure it out.
That mic was lonely as hell. Look. She plugged the mic up, and the app that's the same company as the mic. They like, yo, we don't recognize this mic.
No, that was crazy. Wasn't that crazy? We don't recognize this, man.
Look, the defense that I got, I don't even have one for real. Like,
we know.
I don't even really have. It's just that I forgive them. That's what all I got. I forgive you, Amazon, for sending me the wrong thing, because y'all be doing good by me. I love me some Amazon. They do real good by me. So that was just I'm gonna take the Chick-fil-A approach. You know, when Chick-fil-A mess up you, they just so pleasant. You just be like, it's all right.
Yeah.
So
did you hear our Chick-fil-A story?
No.
About the manager that was it was a couple weeks ago, but it was about the Chick-fil-A owners that were paying their employees in food.
Yeah. Yeah, you better look that
There you
one
go,
up, Tish.
caping for Chick-fil-A.
There
Yo.
you go. You better look that one up, Tish.
Listen, that was a hard, okay?
Yeah.
It's a struggle in the business world.
Caping for
So
Chick-fil-A,
Dumbo, I
man.
need two things from you, Dumbo. I'm gonna need you, like, since Tish wanna, help out old Amazon, man. We need a picture of Tish, the back of that mic, and we need a picture of her face when she thought her mic was good to go. She was all excited and shit. You know what
I was
mean?
excited.
Yeah,
She was ready to go.
I was excited.
Yeah, she was ready
I
to
was
go.
excited.
Yeah.
It didn't have no lights on it. Like this one got lights. I got the real one now. It didn't have no lights on it or nothing. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
That made me listening
What did
to.
my do better?
Yeah,
So my do
what you
better
got?
is my do better is vehicle manufacturing companies, man, all of them, right? So I've been looking into electric vehicles, man. You know what I'm saying? Looking into them for not just me, my
For
wife
what?
too. We just been looking into them, man. Like I travel, like I put some miles on my car every day, man. So I've been looking into it. This is my problem. This is what we got to do better at, man. California want everybody to be in electric cars by 2035 or some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Bro, it's taking 6 months to a year to get an electric vehicle. I don't have time for that shit. I don't have time to wait and build a car. You know what I mean? 6 months to a year. So my do better is companies, you guys have to put these things on the lot. I don't care how you get them there, what the case may be, but I cannot wait. I still got to, I cannot wait 6 months to a year to get a vehicle. It's crazy. I go to Tesla and I don't know. And look, I don't know nothing about this stuff, right? So it's a Tesla spot here. And I don't even want a Tesla. I just want to go there and see how they do things, how they do business. So I get there. I don't see no vehicles and stuff like out there. I see they got like 2 vehicles out there, but it's kind of like for to show you some shit, like, show you how they look or whatever. So I go inside, man, and I'm like, what are cars at, man? What are they at? Yeah. Then they got all these big ass screens up showing you what you got to do, man, like building them and all this type of stuff. Oh, I ain't got time for this shit, bro.
Talk to them, Damon. They got Tesla. They got Tesla stores in the mall, man. Like you could get yourself a mocha frap and then go to a Tesla store. Like you're not leaving them. You're not leaving that bitch with a car.
Right.
I'm telling you, bro.
You're
like,
not.
It's crazy, man. It's all of them too, though.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Mine took about 4 months.
4 months, man.
But that was in 2021.
So I do got another question for you, since you do got a Tesla.
No, before you go on though, I think the world would want to know what kind of electric car is it that you want.
Oh, BMW. BMW.
Okay. Big money,
it's nice.
man.
It's badass, guys. I'm telling you,
big
it
buddy.
is badass, bro. I'm talking about crazy. Money. It's crazy. I'm getting to probably be a retirement gift or something. But it's
how much it costs?
But it's about 6. About 6. But it's badass though. Hey, so with the Tesla, you have to wait 4 months. Did you have to pay both bills? Like, I mean, not both bills. Did you have to pay monthly while they was building it? Did you have to pay for it?
No. You don't pay nothing until you get it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Yep. That was crazy.
But you can get your pre-approval before, like a little bit before, and then you go ahead and once they say it's in, you get your financing straight. Yeah. And then you go pick it up.
Gotcha. Hey, vehicle manufacturing companies, you guys need to do better on the electric vehicles. You want us to have them, especially you, California. I don't know about the rest of the world, but California, if you telling people to have these vehicles by a certain time, put them on the lot. Tell them, put them on the lot.
That's crazy. What you got? You got any do betters, Tish?
I would say mine is medical. So my son,
hey, medical is the do better. They winning right now. Yeah,
of the month. Do better of the month. So my youngest son, he gets headaches. Right, he's 10, and he's been getting headaches for a little bit now, and now they're progressively getting worse to where now he's like vomiting and stuff like that. So we went to medical, got him checked out. Of course they like, track it and everything. Then it gets worse. We go back again. So they're like, we want to get an MRI for him. We'll put it in and then they'll give you a call. So I wait a few days. They ain't called me. So I called them. The voicemail thing says 3 months to get an appointment for an MRI. And I'm like, I don't even know what's wrong with this cat. He over here with headaches and throwing up, and I gotta wait 3 months just to figure out what's going on. And hopefully it's not nothing serious.
And that's just the beginning of it. That's 3 months. I mean, it ain't finna even start yet. They gotta get in and go in and go through a whole list of shit before they even get the giving you an appointment. That's the crazy part. It takes like forever to get them things done, man. It's like a step process.
Right. I'm just real mad at that. Like if it was me and I had to wait 3 months, then whatever. But my kid, I'm like, nah. So I'm about to start beating down some doors over there at medical. Anybody got a medical hookup, let me know.
Right. God forbid you try to go somewhere else and, I remember I tried to go. Yeah, they try to hit you. They try to hit you.
Right.
So, it's crazy.
I gotta claim it.
Have y'all been on the Shade Room at all? Do y'all go on the Shade Room at all? I don't, but a story from the Shade Room made it to me. A story made it to me about the 4-star general, the Air Force general, predicting war in China by 2025, right? And the reason, the only thing about it that really hit me was the fact that, this is not like new news to anybody in the military, right?
Right.
We had former McPon Smith come to SEA when I was there. That was the majority of what he was talking about, right? These things we've been talking about for a while. I think we probably had a couple years after 2025, most people I knew, but it's not like the shocking thing to me is how many Americans are like just finding this shit out. That it's even a chance that we could be at war with China. Like we've been kind of tracking this now for a while. So I know we don't really talk about like those types of things on here too much, but just what's y'all thoughts on the general coming out saying this and now everybody in a disarray?
Well, like you said, man, for us, it's kind of like one of those things, man. We kind of knew or whatever, known, or it's always been in the back of our head anyway. But he makes some good points on there, man. Got an election year coming up, right? Next year. And then on top of that, it's about Taiwan. We all know it's about Taiwan, right? That's global economy right there, man. Going in and out of there. So that's global economy. So it's most definitely something that's on the forefront of everybody. And they know shit equal up with us, though. You know what I mean? It ain't like they scared or anything like that. But I will say, man, a couple things that I pointed out, man, is like the airmen, though. The airmen say we shouldn't be talking about no war, man. We should be talking about how to fix these aircrafts, man. We should be able to fix the retention. You know what I mean? That's what I want to point out, man. The young sailor said, man, we should be talking about aircraft maintenance. You know what I mean? Not no war. So that's how they think about it. But you know what? The whole thing, man, is like they talking about all of that stuff, but at the same time, that's part of just being ready to me. When he talk like that right now, we always talking about just being ready. So I think that's kind of the talk he's saying. If it happens, it happens, but it's all about, being ready and talking like that. You know what I mean? Having the airmen ready to go, man.
Y'all think we ready now? Y'all think we ready now?
So, my biggest question is not if we're ready, like the military. My biggest question now is, are civilians, Americans ready just to understand, like, the importance of knowing, like, we could actually be going to war with China. Like, we get a lot of shit from China.
Right, right. Everything made in China is on everything. So, that'll be tough.
It'll be tough, but you know what? They need us too, though, when it comes to that too, though. I mean, that's why I think it's been a strain the whole time. I think that's why nothing really happened yet. We all got, we talking big to each other and stuff like this, but shit ain't happening because we hurt each other.
You know what I mean? Yeah, the money's flowing.
We buy a lot of shit from them. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know. I really don't know. I know they doing a lot of like, it ain't too many American movies, like popular American movies getting played over there. Like I said, when I was talking to Damon, like Avatar 2 got played over there, but American military looked like shit on Avatar 2. Like we look like the worst people to like walk the earth on Avatar 2. So I could kind of see why they, play. I think I like just my own perspective and own like kind of opinion. I think that the higher ups over there, they doing what they could do to kind of like make sure that their people not Americanized. You know what I'm saying? So if something does jump off, it ain't that much empathy or compassion when it comes to that part of American humanity. I think our soldiers, our sailors, our special operations people. I think when it's time to, fight, I think we'll fight. I think we'll fight. We might take some hits and stuff like that, but I think we'll fight. I'm a part of our military, so I'm always say that I believe we'll persevere. I don't think on either side, though, most people between 20 and 38 would want to fight. Most humans, in China or America. Look at Russia. Look what's going on over there.
Right.
They don't want to, most of their soldiers don't want to fight. They just have to. They follow an order.
Yeah.
Right.
I tell you one thing, man, where it all reverts back to, man, and this goes back to what the guy's saying is about war and things like that, man. It goes back to your training. That would seem like he's trying to get ready. He's trying to get us ready to, get them ready. But it's all about the training. You know what I mean? When shit hit the fan, what we revert back to, right? Training. Like, I don't care what happens. You on a ship, something hit the fan, you going back and reverting back to whatever you learn in your training that you've been through. So that's why I commend what he's saying a little bit, because we got to be ready. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
Yeah. And I keep reverting back to this one thing, and I want y'all opinion. Do y'all think the American public in any kind of way should be prepared for this?
Well,
yes, because we struggling now, and the eggs was egg shortage. So just imagine, all of, like you already said, all the stuff that we get from China, and when that supply dries up, and it's not going to be like a one and done. Launch a bomb, and then that's it. All right, we cool now. It could go on for a while.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of stuff from them. So some U.S. manufacturers are gonna have to step up too and start producing.
I tell you this, man. This is the biggest thing, man. If everybody didn't know, if it's about Taiwan, man, that whatever happens, it needs to stay there. If it falls up and if we go into China and try to do something, bro, that's gonna be the end of it, bro. We ain't gonna never get nothing else from China again. You know what I mean? It's kind of because if you just fighting over Taiwan and the straits and all that stuff, you can make a treaty at the end of the day and say you can do this and we can do this or whatever. But I think if we go into to us or hit Japan or hit anything like that, I think it's a whole different ball game, then, man.
I got one more question, right? Because a lot of this shit is above my intellectual scope and my pay grade, right? For me to be honest, right? But my last question is this, though, about this is, do y'all really think it's about Taiwan?
Yes. Well, I do. I think it's about Taiwan in a way, because I'm telling you, man, that strait, that's all, I think it's north.
Yeah.
All that region over there, and you have to go through there to get to do anything. So that's why I think it's a little bit about Taiwan. If you control that, you can control a lot of what goes on over there. So I think a little bit it is about that. That's why, man, every time you talk about Taiwan, you hear how we like, then we don't want to, but I'm sure it's more to
what
it,
was
man.
That? What was that? We like,
I was going to say, do that again.
we like what? Well, I got a title of the episode. How you spell that?
Every time we start talking about Taiwan, like from the U.S., we be like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, don't talk about, we ain't letting China take that. That's what we be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what we saying.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's about
what you
Taiwan.
Think? What you think, man? You think it's something else? A conspiracy? What you think? What's going on?
It's a movie.
Take China.
It's a movie I saw. It's called This Boy's Life. It got Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro in it. And Robert De Niro is an asshole in this movie, right? He like Leonardo's stepfather, right? He like this abusive stepdad. And he find every excuse to fuck with Leonardo DiCaprio. So in one of the pivotal climax scenes, or one of the scenes in there, Leonardo DiCaprio, he started using the new tube of toothpaste, but he didn't finish all of the toothpaste from the other tube. So De Niro, he came in the bathroom while he was brushing his teeth, and he started beating him up. If I remember it right? He started beating him up. He's like, I told you, when you use the toothpaste, to finish it off, you got to squeeze it from the bottom and get it all out. And, and De Niro, and DiCaprio in that moment, he snapped back. He was like, it's not the toothpaste, man. it's not about the toothpaste. You know what I mean? And that's what I think about Taiwan. Yeah. I think in this case, Taiwan is the toothpaste. And I don't think it's about the fucking toothpaste. I think it's more to it.
It's something else.
It could be, no doubt.
But because and even in that movie I'm talking about, at one point where he broke bad at another scene, right? And I don't want to go too deep in it, but another scene, like he was using the mustard, right? Leonardo DiCaprio was using the mustard, and there was still some mustard left. And De Niro came in there. He's like, yo, I told you when you use the mustard to get it all out, right? So he took the jar and he just started beating him with the jar until it was a yellow ring around his head. You know, and I think Leo like snapped. And I think after that, De Niro was like, give me the excuse. Just give me an excuse. And I think I always think that's what we're looking for is an excuse.
Yeah. I mean, people get rich off the war. So
yeah,
maybe.
That's true.
Maybe. All right. So check this story out, right? So we have a Marine Corps corporal out of Iwakuni. She was placed in the brig for refusing the COVID-19 vaccine. This was back when we had to take the COVID-19 vaccine and everything, right? So she refused to take it. And so following that, they got rid of the mandate and they barred commands from punishing and forcing people to take the COVID-19 vaccine. During the process of, her refusing, she had lost her computer access. Well, the mandate was lifted, but she still didn't have her computer access. So she went and took her original documents that gave her the original access, changed the date on it with her CO signature already on it from the first time, and then she resubmitted it in order to get her computer access back. And so that essentially kind of like landed her in the brig for false official statement. So the question that I got for y'all, when it comes to like standing up for what you believe in, standing up for yourself, do you think that that's brig worthy? Like, would you go to the brig? Would you be willing to like stand your ground and go to the brig for something like this?
Would I be willing to go to the brig for something like that? I got another question for you, but my answer is if it was something I believed in wholeheartedly, it wouldn't be this though. But I would go to the brig for something I believed in wholeheartedly.
Oh, and let me just put this out there too. I don't think I mentioned that the reason why she was refusing the COVID vaccine was for religious reasons.
Yeah. So, my question for you is, as a legal man, for something like this, is it normally something that would land somebody in the brig, something like this?
No. This is very much an NJP offense, but from what I understand, they served her with the NJP, but then she refused NJP. So when you refuse NJP, the command has the option to send it to a court martial. And so they sent it to a court martial. And I guess she decided, I'm going to fight it. I should be able to win this, but I wouldn't shoot me up.
So to me, it sounds like she done pissed the command off, right? So they already pissed off. They already hot. Yes, seemed like regardless if you don't want to take the vaccine, at that time you didn't have to take it. I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, you got the NAV admins to back you up. But so with that being said, though, my biggest thing is don't give them a reason, right? And I think when she did that document like that, which is, to me, we have seen people forward shit before, go to NJP, may get a slap on the wrist, may not even go all the way up to the captain, right? I've seen this before. Now she has done it. Guess what? They pissed. Yeah, we're finna take you all the way up. Then she refused the NJP. So now they really got her where they want her, that seemed like. And then, and of course, and I'm saying this because this is what I'm reading. I don't know all the facts. I don't know, whatever, but it's from what we're reading is the fact that she gave them a reason. They took advantage of her, of the reason, that was forging the documents.
Right.
Yeah. And also in this, she was back operating. So at some point they said that she wasn't supposed to be operating on the computer or something like that. She didn't have access at some point, and nobody could say who revoked the access. She didn't know who revoked the access. So she rerouted this thing. It already had the captain's signature, changed the name and date or whatever like that.
Yeah.
And then she was operating, like doing things that the commanding officer like knew, like thanked her for her work as people knew she was working. And then I guess when this official repeal of COVID kind of came out is when they started to push more to get her to the brig or to get her in trouble or whatever. Am I off on that?
Yeah, I think that's how it sounds like. Just by reading it.
Yeah, so I guess it's a matter of like two questions, right? The one question is, did she do something that was wrong? My answer to that question is yes, she did, and that was falsifying the document. She falsified documents. If people don't know, if you change a date and re-sign something that had your commanding officer's signature from a longer time ago, you falsified documents. So the first question is, she did. So y'all all agree, right?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Now that's not a matter of if she was forced to do that, if she had to do that, if she was getting fucked over, the reason that made her do that. The one question is, did she do something that was wrong? And the answer is yes. The next question is, does she deserve to be in a brig right now? My answer to that question is no. And I guess that's my opinion based, because I'm not like, I don't know, as far as the legality there. You would know more than me, Tish. But my answer to that is, I don't feel like she should be in a brig for what she did.
No.
So I agree that she shouldn't be in the brig for this. But also, if she would have took the NJP, she probably wouldn't have been in the brig either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, whoever was...
Because just because you refuse NJP, that don't get you in the brig. I'm wondering now, just by us discussing it, if her refusing to get on the plane, I think that's where all of that ties in. Her refusing to get on the plane. And because it's like, okay, will you show up for court? Will you be there? That's a reason to put somebody in the brig if they consider you a flight risk.
Yeah. So in order to, was it like she had to have a vaccine in order to get on a plane or something?
That's what I thought it was.
So she had to get on a vaccine to get on a plane, and she was refusing to take the vaccine so that she could get on the plane. Like she was, and this plane is a military aircraft. It's not a Delta or anything. So for this particular plane, and this was just in January, just this past January. So they're still making you, I guess, take the vaccine in order to get on these planes.
What was the purpose of the flight?
To get her back so that she could go to her ADSEP board, Administrative Separation Board.
Yeah.
So that's why the Mission Troops movement that we had talked about previously in the other article, like that's why I think she had the Mission Troops movement, because she was supposed to get on that plane, that aircraft, so that she can be there for her ADSEP board.
Was this ADSEP because of the religious choice to not get a COVID vaccine?
I think that was for the falsifying the false document.
Or maybe both. But I tell you, it does say 3 times too. Like she refused 3 times. For a third time, she failed to get on the plane.
Yeah, so they're like, okay, we're going to put your ass in the brig then.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's sick.
Like again, we said, we didn't know at first. We didn't know all that.
Yeah, we need more. I think we still need more. We need more information. Yeah. So if any of y'all know, we got some young, sailors, young Marines and stuff. Listen, if y'all have any more sources of information for this story, this is just some stuff we kind of reading through, looking, and wanted to bring up. If y'all got any sources, like let us know, give us the information, like keep us honest. But we did want to bring it up because it's a big topic right now, like happening like right now in real time. So I don't think any of us think that she should be in a brig, but I also believe the 3 of us all kind of acknowledge that she did do something, that was wrong. And and it sounds like, in my opinion, my thoughts, I'll speak for myself. It sounds a little bit like retaliation. It sounds a little bit like, a bad relationship with your command and, things of that nature as well. Like Damon said, I am a firm believer of not giving people the excuse. I am. I'm a firm believer of that. So
yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of times as LNs and JAGs, when we're talking to COs, a lot of times they'll get emotions cooked into like cases like this. And it's like a power struggle. Like, I'm the CO, like, you're going to, like, how dare you, disobey my order? Because they are there to ensure this good order and discipline. That's the CO's his job. And so if you have someone that blatantly disorder or disobeying orders, then that's kind of like undermining him. And how does that look for the rest of the command?
Yeah.
So when you have a power struggle like this, a lot of times COs will go high and right.
Yeah.
Just in because there is so much emotions into it. And so like we try to like bring them back down and we're like, okay, let's not, go that far. Let's make sure we're still within the lines of the law. So that's why I love my job.
Yeah, I mean, it opened. It's crazy because I got another like movie TV reference, and I hate that I got so many today.
Oh, man.
But I was watching The Wire. I'm watching The Wire with my wife because The Wire is, in my opinion, a top 2 show, right? Like, I don't even think that could be argued. But it's a top 2 show. So I'm trying to get my wife to watch it. So we watching episode 3. On episode 3, at some point, the police officers, they want to go into like the projects and they want to raid the projects, but they don't have anything on these drug dealers. They just want to go in there and raid the projects like unprepared because they did a couple like undercover, like hand in hands, and they caught a couple little baggies or whatever, right? So the kind of protagonist, McNulty, the detective, like one of the lead detectives, he's talking to his LT like, yo, I'm not going, and he's like, no, you, like, everybody has to go. You got to go, pack up. We heading out, put a damn bulletproof vest on. Let's go. McNulty like, I'm not going out there. Like, this is wrong. We doing a wrong thing. We shouldn't be going out there. We're going to go out there. We're going to look stupid. His lieutenant, who's trying to, promote and, be well in the eyes of his leadership, is like, yo, honestly, I don't think it's the best idea either, but this is what we were told to do, so we got to do it. So McNulty like, nah, I'm going to just stay in the office and do police work, right? So me and my wife, we start debating. I'm like, yo, so like with like McNulty stood his ground. Do you think it's right or it's wrong? My wife's opinion was like, well, I would go out with the other police officers and be a part of the team. Cause at this point, if it's fucked up, it's fucked up. You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, McNulty kind of stood on his, whatever it was to stand on. But it just remind me when you talk about the CO and you talk about the LT, because pretty much his LT on The Wire told him like, hey, call in sick, just call in sick then, man. Because he didn't want McNulty to like go against what he was saying in front of like the rest of the team. So he like just calling sick. And McNulty was like, yo, but I'm not sick. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like, yo, he was standing on his integrity, yo.
Like, nah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not sick. He's like, well, you sick today, sign this. McNulty was like, I'm not signing it. I'm don't please. So what you said kind of reminded me of that story. And I hope I told it in some kind of a good way. All right, no more movie, TV references from me for the rest of the day.
We'll see.
Yeah. So I got a question for y'all, a quick question, yo. I don't think y'all know the answer to this, but why are we so behind in technology? I'm sitting in the meeting, right? A bunch of big wigs, because I'm filling in for my CMC. Like I said, it's a regional CMC thing. So we're in there with like a bunch of installation master chiefs, as big as wig as I've been, you know what I mean? So I'm sitting in here and they talking about a certain thing that I don't want to really get into. I don't want to get into what it is that we were talking about, but it was something that has to do with technology. And it's like, yo, we're like 15 years behind in this technology or whatever. And it's like, I could tell you what, it's security based, and it's technology that's used every day on every base and installation that there is in the Navy. This is technology we use every day. And somebody's like, why are we so behind in this or whatever? Why do y'all think we're so behind when it comes to like different things like that? Like, do we just not want to spend the money? Does it have to do with like, access, like if we get newer shit, it's open to like the cloud and like more hackers get access to? Like, what's your thoughts?
Maybe that could be, but just think about all of the folks in those leadership positions that could like implement these new technologies into the Navy. They don't know anything about technology, and they don't really see the usefulness. Like, and they're so far removed from what we're doing on the ground. Like they're so far removed. They don't know how technology can just like change everything. So I think it's just the generation of the people who are the policy setters. They just don't, they're just not in tune with technology. They don't understand it. And if you don't understand it, I think it's just easy to just dismiss it and be like, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, I think it goes with the rules and shit, man. I think the rules and stuff kind of hurt us a little bit, right? You can go out there and they can be out there just all this technology just booming out there. But then when they come on a military base, there's so many rules, and then they go on a ship. It's so many rules on why they can't do all this stuff. And it puts us behind, man. I can give you an example on a pre-com ship, man. All this technology, right? We got a blueprint how to build this ship and everything inside this ship that was done 10 to 15 years ago, right? Yeah. You telling me it's no technology out there that can change this while we doing it, right? They have to wait until it's built. Then we going to go in and change it. But it has to be built first. Makes no sense, man. No sense to me. But right, it's a money thing too, I think, too, because stuff be paid for and they don't want to switch nothing, they don't want to change nothing. Yeah.
Yes, contracts and all that.
I was about to say those 50-year contracts that we be signing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna lock me one in.
Yeah, you should. I mean, you should, you know.
Lock something.
In this same meeting, right, they break off to this training. So during the training, the facilitator, right? Now, mind you, I'm in a group full of command master chiefs. You got admirals in there. You got the admiral in there. You got a bunch of commanding officers, installation commanding officers in there. You know, all types of stuff. But it's close to the end of the day, right? So the training happened after lunch. So it's close to the end of the day. So during the training night, the facilitator, right, she asked, she said, hey, you know, can anybody in here tell me a time that you had to set a standard, you know, where you work? Nobody raised their hand, man.
What?
Now, mind you, I'm in
the Master Chiefs and Commanders.
It's COs, Admiral.
It's COs. Our Admiral was there. I mean, she's not gonna raise her hand, you know, but because it's a whole bunch of other people that probably should, you know. It's like civilian directors, like, you know, department head equivalents. Like, it's all like leaders that I know everybody in that damn room, including myself, at some point had to set a standard somewhere and change a standard. And all this lady asked our room was, hey, can somebody in here tell me about the time you had to set a standard? It was fucking crickets, man. You know? Yeah. And it reminded me, and we talked about it before, like when, you know, when people come get a ship traded and they try like get the crowd involved.
Get the interaction.
But, but it reminded me, y'all remember CPO 365?
Yeah.
Y'all remember that, right? I remember I was sitting in CPO 365. I was in first class. And this was like my first time LCS. I was in San Diego. And the Chiefs, you know, they sat kind of in the audience. And it was a first class in front, and he thought he was about to like engage the Chiefs or whatever. He was like, "Hey, Chiefs, you know, so let me start with a precursor to that. CPO 365 was fucked up. Like nobody liked it, right? We didn't like it, right? But he was like, hey, you know, out of y'all Chiefs, you know, that got some experience and stuff like that, you know, can y'all tell me a time that, you know, y'all feel like whatever, and then whatever he said, you know, the Chiefs was like this, yo, fast forward that shit. They was like, no, fast forward. We ain't gonna tell you no time. Go ahead. Like, what are y'all? What are y'all?
This was training for you guys.
Yeah, what are y'all? They said, yo, fast forward. What are y'all?
Fast forward.
Y'all
hey, Double, you hit it right there, man. I remember that shit so goddamn clear, man. Like, y'all call us out. You Chiefs, you know, if you guys got anything you guys want to stand up and say about whatever it is, like,
be like, no,
motherfucker, no, we don't.
Like, go ahead.
You tell the story.
Yeah, you tell it.
Yeah, that shit be so funny, man. That was my first one. So again, I'm like, damn, man, I'm in for it in here, man. But it was crazy. Yeah. All right, last story from this brief that I was at. Like I said, I was at like this meeting, right? So this might be a little heavier topic. I wrote some notes, and this is what my notes say. It says evaluating distribution versus reception of information, transparency. Then I wrote how to fix this. And then I wrote translation of conversation depending on who you're talking to, right? So let me kind of explain what I'm talking about here. I'm in a meeting, and like I said, we would hire ranked people, civilian or whatever, and it's a conversation about something that's going to change very soon for workers, right? People that's out doing work. And in a part of the conversation, one of the higher ranking people was trying to understand like the disconnect in communication between the fact that this is something that we always talk about. We got hundreds of charts. We got like a bunch of different kind of information points about this change. Although one of the commanding officers or somebody saying like, yo, is nobody ready for this, or they won't understand that this happened or whatever. And this high ranking person, right? And I'm saying it wrong intentionally. I ain't saying all the right shit, right? But this high ranking person is like, well, how come they don't understand it? Like, what the fuck is going on? Right. And and now I'm going to kind of bring it down to the level, right? So when we were on a ship, it was a moment in time where sexual harassment was going crazy, right? It was like this big perception that you can't report. You know what I'm saying? Some people might say that they couldn't report, right? It wasn't a perception. But it was a very nasty moment on our ship when it came to sexual harassment and stuff like that, right? And it was a lot of disconnects between like sailors and khaki, and that's a big part of why we even started this podcast. But at one period of time, a sailor he provided the Sapper VA's number in the email to all the women on the ship, right? He gave the Sapper VA's number to all the women on the ship, and me and him talked about it. And I talked to him. I got a lot of love and respect for him. So we always talk, and we talked then. And and when we talked, I'm like, hey, but they had it. Like, it's on the POD. Like, the Sapper VA's number is on the POD. They just look. He was like, hey, chief, this is not a chief. He's like, hey, chief, they don't read that. They've never seen that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, yo. So, and that's where I get like, damn, it's a disconnect between like information being put out and information being received at like the level of the worker or whatever. I don't want to say the lowest levels, but at like the level of the executor of work and shit like that. Because as I'm thinking that this phone number is on the POD, I'm not knowing that ain't none of these people even looking at this damn POD.
Right.
You know, now on a higher level, you know, and I'm gonna try to get y'all opinion on. I'm trying to figure out a question, but when it comes to things like mental health, suicide awareness, and a lot of the initiatives that Big Navy does put out, and because they put it out, it's a room of people putting this shit out. Do y'all think it's a disconnect in this information landing?
Landing, yes. Not putting it out. I mean, we put stuff out, and I was a big firm believer, man. And when we read the POD to say all this stuff, right? All the Sapper VAs say bring it up every now and then. Maybe not every day, but every now and then bring it up to let people know. But I think with I'm gonna say question attitude and stuff, we just so used to asking somebody. You know what I mean? So they really not even paying attention to that. Cause let me knock on, let me go find senior, let me go find chief, let me go find this person to talk to them about it. They're just so used to that they don't really even be paying attention, to the POD. Not saying they disconnected from it, because you do have some sailors. You got E5, E6, but most of the younger sailors, they may be a little bit disconnected. You try to talk to them in a way, because you have to keep talking about it though. You know what I mean? You have to keep talking about, hey, check the POD out, check this out, it's on there. If you got any help with this, it's right there. And you just got to keep saying it. But even how many times you say it, when something actually go down, they're going to be knocking on your door. They're going to be coming to find you or somebody to help them out every time. So yes, I'm with you, man. I do think it's a little bit of a disconnect on the receiving side of it.
Is it better?
And when I say that, the young kids got so much shit going on too, I think too, though. They only thing they worry about, what is my LPO putting out in the morning so I can go get done, so I can get off work. You know what I mean? So a lot of times that's what they care about. Now, us as leaders, we start thinking about, hey, how am I going to be able to help these sailors today? So our thought process is more like, let me put all this much information out as I can You know what I mean? Because something may register. Something may hit when they need it or whatever the case may be. But when you're young, only thing you probably thinking about is like, man, what I need to do to get off today. You know?
Is it better ways to teach? Is it better ways to communicate these things though? That's my question.
I think right now we're young people on social media and they get a lot of their information, Navy news. Like, honestly, when they changed the earring policy, I heard it on social media first. Through a chat. A DM.
Hold on, you didn't hear it first on Permission to Speak Freely? That's not what you heard it first?
No, like as soon as it dropped, it was in my DMs. As soon as it dropped, it was in my DMs, like all the way. But I should have got it from Permission to Speak Freely. Shout out to Permission to Speak Freely.
Yeah,
hey. Shout out. But I just think that, you know, the same as Damon, like we putting it out there, like when you go to Command NDOC, that's a whole day or two of information overload, but they don't really, it doesn't register until they actually need it. And so like for some other policies, like for instance, there was a sailor once who had a family situation that was going on, where a family member was dying, I think. And it just sounded like the member just didn't know about HUMS. And so they did a whole congressional complaint saying, you know, this is what's going on in my family and the command doesn't care when, you know, there's a HUMS program. Like, I don't know if anybody, well, by the time we tried to respond to it, the command had already given him the HUMS information and, he already had his package. Humanitarian assignment is what I'm talking to for folks that don't know. But he had already had his package submitted and they were working it through the chain of command. But at the time that he wrote the complaint, he didn't know anything about that. And he just felt like, you know, the command didn't care. But once they found out what the issue was, then they were like, okay, cool. Now I know what's going on, what your situation is. Let me take care of you. And, you know, it could be one of those situations where like they don't know, or they're just not given their chain of command the opportunity to help them with that issue or to get them the information that they need. Cause sometimes they don't want to talk to us sometimes, honestly. I've heard sailors say, well, I don't want them all up in my business. I don't want them to know, or they're embarrassed by something. But I mean, I guess for us, we just gotta continue to put information out however we put it out. I'm not really gonna use social media with my sailors because I don't want you, I don't want you to be my friend on social media. Like my social media is my private space, kinda. So I don't really want to leadership through social media. But I mean, if they reach out to me and they need me on social media, I'm definitely there. But I don't want to be putting out policies through social media, though.
Yeah. I think we're adapting to this, though, man. I really do when it comes to it, because you got My Navy HR doing little townhouse, what they call it,
townhouse, town hall.
You know, they doing these meetings. They talking about a lot of policies when it came to the personnel stuff. We had the fleet and somebody on the fleet, and I think it was the admiral going over stuff. So I think we kind of adapting now. That goes back to who's checking that out, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's on the social media. They looking at it, but I don't know if they, you know, all into that stuff. But I think we trying to adapt to the social media side of stuff.
I got a theory that the newer generation, I don't want to say young people, young sellers, kids or not. Like, I want to say like the newer generation. Like, and I got a theory that like a lot of these people are like sharks, you know, and they sniffing out, maybe not sharks, but like whatever, hound dogs or whatever, but they sniffing out like bullshit. You know what I mean? And when I say that they sniffing out bullshit, I'm talking about like, they know if you passionate behind what you're saying, right? So, and I look at it like the physical, the embodiment of that command board. When you go to like that command board and it's like 400 different things on that command board, if it's 400 different things on that command board, 9 times out of 10, we're not going to pay attention to anything on that damn command board. It's too much shit on here. Y'all just putting stuff on here because you feel like you have to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it becomes that Friday before you go on Liberty speech that like I used to get from like one of my DLCPOs where it was like, all right, by the third time I heard this, it has no effect on me at all because he comes out and he says this every single week. Again, this is my theory. This is my theory that these younger people are assessing more of like if you got passion behind what you're saying or not. That's why like you get like, that's why you get like, for instance, like I shout out to like D-Guts podcast, right? He get a big following because he talking about shit he care about. You know what I mean? And the sellers, they getting behind it, they supporting it, they understanding it. Boom, boom, boom. Number one, he talk about shit, but he caring about, and I off D-Guts, but you talking about shit you care about, and then on top of that, like you're not like not being honest about things that's bullshit. Right. You know what I mean? And I think that's the difference. Like, I don't think you could get in front of your division every morning and read out every name of every rep that they need to call.
Right.
You know, now do I think that you could get in front of your fucking division like on a Friday morning or a random Wednesday and talk about, you know, a time that you went through some shit and you had to get a quick assist or you had to do this and do that. And it lands a whole lot better. Like one of them might be going through it. They might pull you to the side after or something like that. I think that that's a little bit more powerful than here's the Sapper VA, here's the chaps, here's the this, here's the that, here's the this, here's the that. I said it to y'all, check in the box. I'm fucking done. Let's go get to work. You know? So that's, you know, that's my, you know, that's my little thought process when it comes to the young sellers. So I think, because this is an era of like connectedness.
Right.
You know? And I think in that era, connectedness is also being connected on whatever it is the hell that you look at podcasts, for example, right? The sports podcast. It ain't just dudes that ain't never played sports on these things anymore. Our sports shows. It's fucking athletes, like people who did it.
Right.
You know, people want to hear from people who lived and experienced these things. It's a disconnect. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you know, that's my thought process with that.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's it.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And then, you know what, that brings me back to a conversation that I had this week, or I think it was just yesterday, with one of my sailors. She was kind of on the fence about whether she wants to re-enlist or not the next go around because she just recently had a baby.
Yeah.
So she's concerned with going underway and missing the baby. So I gave her my real life experience of being away from my kids, being away from my family. And then just over the years, what I've done to kind of combat that and to keep my kids connected with my family and my ex-husband's family. Like, they have a great relationship. So I'm 20 years in. Well, the oldest is 14, and like he has a very good relationship with his cousins. Both of them, they have very good relationships with their cousins. They still keep in contact with friends that they were stationed with prior. And so I kind of like talked to her about that, and you know, the experience of my kids and the other kids are like, oh, now that I'm about to retire and they're going to go to a area where it's not predominantly military, they can say they've lived in Japan and that they've lived in California. They'll just have a lot of different experiences that the people around them may not necessarily have. And so I gave her my real life, like, I wasn't like, oh, well, you got to re-enlist, you got to stay Navy. And I didn't make it like, I made it less about the money because her concern was the money. And so I made it less about the money and just more about like her happiness and like how she can make it through being in the Navy. If what's stopping you from staying in is you leaving your child, let me give you the benefits of leaving your child. If that makes sense. And let me give you the benefit. And so I told her my story. And so I think that, you know, it connected a whole lot better than just, how you kind of see like a CDB type thing run a lot of times, or it's just like, oh, stay in the Navy and what's your budget and, what are you going to do after? Like, nope, you got to stay in, like retention.
Yeah, I get stressed out. Anything that's orthodox, I normally get stressed out while I'm doing it, like, because it's hard for me. And also like, I can't vouch or stand too much on something that like I'm not firmly like planning in, because you could tear that shit down. Like a seller could ask me like 20 questions. If I'm not 100% behind it, and I'm not talking about like something the captain put out that we got to support, but something else, right? If I'm not 100% behind it, you could break me down. Like it's easy for me to, if I ain't, okay. Yeah, you right. Like, hey,
you got all the info.
Yeah. These sellers, man, they smart, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's like,
especially if they passionate about it. If they passionate about whatever going on, they research. They have did their homework.
Yes.
You ever had the seller you had to have your shit together? Like
I remember one time, man, sailor had their shit together. I told, hey man, don't start. Don't you start today with me.
But I like when they do that though. I like when they do that. I like when they do it. Like I'll actually be like, hey, challenge me on it. Like, bring me the resources. Like, let's talk about it. And I actually, another quick story. We had a sailor that was working in our office. She was TAD from the ship for some medical procedures. And so she was only there for like a month. And so we got a ATSEP case in, and she was like, I think this is wrong, Chief. Like, I think this member should be separated. And I was like, okay, do your research. I gave her the, the tools to do it. And I helped her. Like, she would come to me, like, all right, this is what I found out. Okay, go check this out. Go check that out. So she started digging and digging and digging. By the time she got finished digging through the case, like I had her do a case brief too to our entire office. Like she had to plead her case as to why this member should stay in and why if they do get out, what characterization of service and everything. And she did a really good job. She lost. She lost because as she kept peeling it back, she kept finding more stuff. And we gave her we gave her homework assignment following her brief. And so she got to see from the eyes of leadership, like how to really think this whole thing through, how we related to the policies. But she did a really good job and she stood her ground as long as she could. And I was like, I like it. You want to become a legal man? I like it. So like, I like when they do that though.
Yeah, me too. When they come to you, they come with questions and they ask them. But my question, it's kind of going right in one of my questions I had, man, was like teaching sailors or telling sailors to go figure it out. Right? Which one of you guys, like, and I know, and I'm going to tell you one of my examples because I had this HT2 when I was a DC1 and it worked though. That's why I'm not a firm believer of go figure it out. Right? But this guy he was an HT2. And at the time I was a DC1 and we was trying to get qualifications and things like that. The guys that just came to the ship and they come back with the wrong answer. He used to always say, go here and go figure it out. That was his thing. Go figure it out. But they came back. They had the answers. They knew what they was doing. They traced stuff out. So in a way it works, right? Now the teaching part of it works too though. But I think sometimes when you give them everything, you know what I'm saying? They don't really like consume it all. But when they go and figure things out on their own, so I think it's like some little bit of, I'm trying to figure out what you guys think about it, but I know it's kind of a little bit of, in between with me on it.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. For me, I remember when I first got to the ship and I made the division do a book report on the tag out users manual. And I found out. Well, I found out years later that like the majority of them hated it. You know what I'm saying? I thought I thought it was like the best thing in the world. Like, y'all get to, I know like a lot of people don't dig into this. Y'all can open it up, read it, kind of learn it. I actually, when I was a young seller, I read it. So, but I found out some years later, somebody was, talking to me like later, like, yeah, Chief, like, that whole tag out thing that everybody hated. I'm like, hold on, like everybody hated it. They was like, yeah, you know what? I was like, I thought y'all liked
you was
it.
cool.
Yeah, I thought this was a good thing. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, so like it depends on what it is. It depends on the task. If it's something that I know that a seller could kind of figure out, learn, and the way in which, like the path in which it took them to learn, they'll benefit from, and they'll remember those key points in that path. They can always kind of go back to those key points. Then I'm going to let them learn, but I'm going to closely follow, them as they going through that path. Cause my thought process used to be like a lot of people that used to tell you to go figure it out. They didn't know, you know what I mean? So they was like trying to tell you to figure it out so they could go through the tech value while you go on,
right?
And then all of a sudden you come back and they like, yeah, it's 57. And you like, I just came back from chow. Like, what you talking about? Like, yeah, it's 57 relays in that controller. Like, you didn't know that? Like, Mama, you looked at the tech day. Like, stop.
Right.
So, but the way that I learned for the most part was, it was twofold. But the way that I remember and retain most of my information was from doing it myself. So I think it's a lot of, I would go out with my seller, with my thirds and my seconds. And I thought I was doing shit, but I was grabbing tools, grabbing different things. And I remember when my second left, I cried in the fan room when they told me to go fix something. Actual tears. I was like, yo, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then from then on, it was like, grab a manual, read it. And it ain't as much the manual that you remember. It's the shit you did in trying to figure this out. It's your experience. So I do believe that you could send somebody down a yellow brick road and they could come back with whatever it is they went to go get. Now, some other things, however, you could sit them down and you could walk through it with them and you could help them. You know what I mean? I don't want my work center suit figuring out SCAD. You know what I mean? Like, yo, we had a joke. We had a joke. My EM3, when I was on my first ship, he had to give RPPO training to this other third. And he put her in front of the computer and he was like, all right, yo. No, matter of fact, he was teaching her how to wire up a water fountain. And he put her in front of the water fountain and he was like, all right, figure it out. And he walked away or whatever. And that was it. And somebody came back and told me, they was like, yo, Dabo, you better go down there, man. Lee down there. He got such and such down there doing whatever. So it's differences in when you, I hope Lee listening because I want Lee to call me Lee, cuss me out. But it's differences in like when you do it and when and when you don't do it. That's my thought process.
Yeah, I think with my style, and it may just be because of what I do, we work a lot with instructions and MilPers mans and stuff like that. And everything that we do as LN is based on like a MilPers man or a JAG man or something like that. And it lays out like how it's supposed to look. And so typically when I'm first teaching it, like I teach straight out the manual because I want them to be able to refer back to that to figure out what needs to go in the package, what's required, especially at an ISIC level, because we're checking the work of the COs, the ships and stuff like that. So I need them to know what the instruction says to make sure that what we're receiving is according to the instruction. Yeah. So I teach straight out the instruction. Like just today, we went over line of duty investigations. Straight, I pulled up the JAG man and we kind of read through it. I answered questions like right there. On the flip side, though, I also will do the go look in the instruction to find it. And I'm more so like that with like on the spot type questions. Or if I see that they missed something on a correspondence, I may say, hey, there's something wrong right here. Go look it up and tell me what's wrong with it. Yeah. And there's actually, for me personally, I've found that I also learn better when I'm digging into the instruction to find the answer. I retain it better. And especially when I have a real life situation to relate it to, then I can I'm like, oh, okay. So with this situation, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, got it. At that point, it's locked in with me because I'm more of like a hands-on learner. So if I'm just reading it in one ear, out the other, and that's why I'll do the sit down and I'll teach them like with the manual. We sit there and we talk about it because you're seeing it and you're hearing it, and then you're gonna go do it.
Yeah, you know why? I only train with technical documents too. You know what I'm saying? I don't train without them, right?
Right.
One of the reasons why is because I know that like your mind is not the greatest thing, and I know mine isn't. So I know it's things that I don't. I know first of all it's things I don't know, and I know it's things I forgot. But the other reason why is because I believe like when I was in A school, I think it was, and they showed me that it was instructions on how to like swab a deck or whatever, right? Like it was instructions on how to swab the damn deck. So one of the biggest things that I like always try to drill in like the heads of like all my people is that the Navy has written documentation on how to do everything there is to do. So when I'm training, I got some form of documentation or a reference of where I got something from. I'm never freestyling nothing. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this was here, this was here, this was here. Somebody asks me a question, I'll answer it to the best of my ability and still say, hey, before you go do something with that, grab the, document, look it up or whatever like that. I try my best to never go off my own knowledge because you can fuck people up. And then people put you on a pedestal. The third part of that is people put you on a pedestal. And I never want you to live and die off of some shit I said.
Yeah.
Now I'm shocked and electrocuted because Sia told me that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's my thing.
We most definitely put that in everybody's head too, man. You got to have your documentation, man. I mean, that goes back to your PMS, whatever. You need to have it. You're not out doing anything no more without having some type of documentation. Right. You shouldn't be, right? But let me tell you guys this story, man, real quick, about me coming up in the Navy and having this DC-1. At the time it was DC-1. Brian ended up retiring as like a lieutenant commander, right? But let me tell you about this guy, man. And maybe it was a little bit, in a way helping him out because I was the only fireman in his division right when I got to the ship. So I was coming up to make third. I remember him telling me, they was telling me on the ship, you're doing pretty good. We'll send you to A school. But then they said after you send you to A school, you might not come back to the ship. Right? C schools. You might not come back to the ship. So this dude started telling me like, hey, man, I just taught A school. I taught C school. I can teach you everything that you need to know about DC. Like everything, right? Hey, I wish everybody in the Navy had a guy like this, man. Big shots out to Brian, man. This dude had all these training things, man. He had them up, and I was always in his hip pocket, man. Always. Yeah. Everything we did, he was down in this space. He was still doing the maintenance. And like in the beginning, he was doing a lot of freaking maintenance of DC-1. DC-1 don't do no damn maintenance no more. This dude was doing like maintenance hands on, but he had me like right there. So I was getting the best of both worlds, man. I was out there. He was telling me to go do it. Like the second time, he was like, okay, I just did this. Then you take it back apart or whatever. Now he said, you do it. You know what I mean? So it's like he was like really like teaching me some shit. But so I had to tell you guys, man, big shout outside because I know it's not like that anymore. It's too much stuff going on ships right now that people ain't getting like training like that. But me coming up, 98, 99, man, long time ago, man. But hey, that's a
I got a joke. I'm a host of my joke, but it's because I don't want the DC men in the world to be mad at me or whatever. So I'm a host. I'm a host of my joke. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for hosting it,
man. DC great. I'm a definitely hoster. Tag, and I lost my damn train of thought because of this damn joke, man.
Go ahead and say your joke, bro.
Yeah. Well, it ain't a joke. It's just a question, man. What you used to take apart and put back together?
Big dusters, P100s.
P100.
Things like P100. Bro, you can take a P100 down to parade rest, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like all the way down, bro.
Yeah.
Things like that, man. DC
I
stuff,
remember.
man.
And I remember what I was like having a person fresh out of school or being an instructor duty, that used to be the lick because they got all the folders with all of this. The days of folders and disc and shit, but they got all the folders with like all the documentation and all. Do y'all remember
the new shit? Right? Yeah.
Y'all remember when the advancement exam, when the bibs had the links? Like you could just hit the quick link and it take you to the tech manual or whatever. It's not like that. It's not like that anymore, right? You gotta like find it. It's crazy, man.
I haven't looked at that shit in so goddamn long.
Those were the good days, bro.
I remember I used to buy
no, don't tell me.
Bro, that shit didn't really help me at all, bro. I bought that shit. Man, like people tell me,
I tried that shit before,
and I read that. I mean, he just, me, I don't know that much about it. Man, you should study North Star. So I don't know that much about it. So when I bought it, I'm thinking, hey, I'm finna get my study on, bro. It's like all them goddamn just straight questions.
Just
bro, I might look
your relevant ass questions. Ain't none of them on your test.
Just questions. I know.
Yeah, I look at North Star. Like I used to look at North Star, like them old commercials that used to come on late at night with the like R&B artists, like
exactly what it was, bro.
Like some shit they try to sell you. They try to sell you some shit because I'm like, yo, if I'm supposed to make rank, then what I'm paying money for with this shit, man?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that just gave me another reason to shout out Quizlet one more time. Hey, one more time for Quizlet, man.
Quizlet don't got me through some things.
Quizlet is the North Star. Quizlet is the North Star when Netflix is the Blockbuster, yo.
Right.
Yeah.
Straight up, man. Quizlet got North Star the hell up out of here, man.
Yeah. Damn, everything Navy related, you can get that shit on Quizlet.
Yeah, but
you can.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Shit that ain't
GMTs
even, you're not
and everything.
Even everything.
Yeah, shit you ain't even supposed to get. They got answers and everything like that. Yeah, man. The Quizlet guides, man. But soon we gonna find out Quizlet is from China or some shit.
Yeah, no doubt it's coming.
Like they know the answers to all our shit. They know it. How many GPMs a minute.
It is coming.
I since we are on this topic, well, honestly, like, so just for transparency for the listeners, like, we put topic, we come up with some topics, we write topics and everything like that, right? So Damon, you actually wrote a topic, and I'm gonna talk about it, but I'm gonna talk about it the only way I know how, some around it type shit. But your topic had to do with like boot camp, right? And I'm not going to go straight to boot camp because I believe we got like somebody fresh out of boot camp that's going to come on a pod one day. But I am going to talk about like a principle that I follow, just one principle. And for Tish, I'll tell you the question that Damon did ask for the sake of you and all the listeners. The question he asked is advice for a new seller out of boot camp headed to his or her new command, right? That came from you, right, Damon?
Yeah.
And I'm a respond to the question, but not with an answer of that question. My response is this, and this is just I don't give advice. That's why, like, I ain't really big on I ain't big on like advice, like, you know what I'm saying. But my response to that is like a rule that I follow, and the rule that I follow is this: showing up is half the battle, right? And the sad truth is, the higher you go up in rank, it's only more apparent, right? I say this is sad because I believe in the spirit of competition, which doesn't necessarily mean we are competing at this stage, but we are at least establishing a baseline, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what I wrote. And I'll break it down just a little bit, right? Showing up is half the battle. To me, that's the truth, and in the Navy, all you got to do is be on time wherever you're supposed to be, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever. And then I think after this, we'll kind of get into like our stories a little bit before we wrap, but be on time wherever you're supposed to be. You don't have to work 110. You don't have to put in 110% of like whatever you believe your effort could be, because it's not a lot of people that's giving it 50%, to be honest. That's just
right.
Based off of, and I'm basing this off of my career, and the way it went. And I know y'all kind of got your own experiences, but in my experience, I ain't see a lot of people giving it 100%. You know what I mean? So show up, do what you got to do. And then the reason why I say that the higher you get, it's sad that the higher you get up in rank, it's more apparent. Because honestly, like the higher you come, it's less and less people showing up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't even as many, like, you know, they talking to me about like these packages, you know, you got these command senior chief, but you got all these things used to be like heavily regarded, like the highest esteem possible. Like we going for the best of the best. Some of these programs hurting. Some of these programs going to take you if you put your package in, right? And I'm not specifically talking about the command program or whatever, but some of these programs don't even have volunteers. You know, I was talking to somebody about the Chief season, and the person was like, yo, I'm just a little upset that ain't nobody else put their name in the hat, you know, to run it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I mean about the other part. I mean about, I wrote it here. It says, I say this is sad because I believe in the spirit of competition. I want to be able to look to the side and see somebody running at the same pace as me. You know what I mean? Because it's only going to make me run faster, right? And I
talked to him, Dumbo.
Yeah, right. And I talked to somebody about this before, you know, because, you know, and I think they took the word compete like to a level that I didn't mean it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I mean by competition is if I go on a ship, like, yo, if you go on a ship, Damon is like really in it when it comes to damage control still. You know what I mean? He really in it. Like, I was on a ship with him, I know, you know, and it's like, all right, now you're going to make me be in it, you know, when it come to damage control, or make me be in it when it come to my shit. Cause I know I got to show up because it's people here showing up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to inspire you to rise to the level, you know, of your competition. You know, if you outpacing everybody all the time, eventually when you look back and you really like lap somebody, you're going to slow down a little bit. Like this ain't even your fullest potential because ain't nobody, you know, really up there with you. And I just feel like the higher you go up, man, the less people are willing to like do shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. I would say like put your body on the line. Like, you know, if I wanted to use like a sports reference, like, you know, go for the extra touch or go for the loose ball. It ain't a lot of people that's like really out there doing shit, you know? So, so that's what's gotten me to where I am now. Not saying that I'm in a great place or anything, but what's gotten me to where I am now is showing up, being a little bit early, and just giving it like, in most cases, you know, I didn't do it all the time, giving it all I got in most cases. Then y'all want to hear my last little like the secret sauce to like,
what's the secret
sauce to my success?
The Chick-fil-A sauce.
All right. Here's the secret sauce to my success, man. You know, I ain't got no kids. I don't have children. You know what I'm saying?
That is the secret sauce right there.
I don't got kids, you know? And so if I need to really tap in and be like, yo, every day I'm going to get to work at 4 a.m. and do 4 hours of work before everybody else come in, I could do that. I can do that. You know, when it's time to leave, I could leave. You know, at this stage now in my career, most of my peers have kids. And shit happens and they can't show up. They can't, like I'm able to be everywhere. Like I'm there, yeah. I'm everywhere, you know?
What you need?
Yeah, like I'm here. Like I got you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And of course, you know, me and Angeline, we want kids, but not having kids has really, really put me, you know, in a good spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's time now, you know, it's time now. So that's me. I'm gonna get off of that. But I did want to kind of answer that question that you asked, Damon, about advice or whatever. That's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, I think, man, when you go to a new command or anywhere, man, for the first time, man, I look at it as a mindset. What you trying to accomplish? Who you hanging with? You know what I mean? Things like that.
That part
is going to dictate, you know what I mean, what you're going to do and what you're going to accomplish. Like, man, like, and then that command too is going to set you up on how you're going to perform or what you're going to do. If you got a command, you know, do one thing and that's it. Don't worry about it. Where your mindset at? Because you don't know yet. You at a new command. You're trying to find out. So what I say to her, keep your head down. Like you said, keep your head down. You know, have a good uniform. You know, show up on time and have a mindset to be better every day than you was yesterday. You know, if you look at it like that, man, and like, but me personally though, like me personally, I am competitive. I want to beat you. I mean, no shit. I am like, I know Don say he kind of like I want to beat you. And sometimes I tell you, I had a DCC, same as me at same command. And I used to tell him, like, we competing against each other at the end of the day. I know that we boys, we homies, we this, but, you know, at the same time, man, you know, it can only be one, you know? You know what I mean? Yeah. And I came up short before too. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't win them all, but I'm competing though. You know what I mean? I want to be great. I want to be good. I want to be, you know, that's where I want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Along those lines, one of my big ones is linking with like-minded people. And I know at one of my commands, this one in particular, I linked with someone and we both were just on some, when we first classes, let's take over the whole command. We can run the whole command. Anchor chasing too, like a mug. And so we literally we ran everything. Like, it was just us. And we if we told the first classes, hey, this is what we trying to do. If you want some, come aboard. If not, you're going to get ran over. We had sailors. We were taking care of them, putting them in, and kind of like, all right, you put your sailor on, we had the formula. Yeah. And at one point, our mentees, we were like the sailor of the quarter, and our mentees were the junior sailor, and then the whatever the other one was. Oh, and then of the year, junior sailor of the year. Like, we had all the parking spots. Blue jacket. Yeah, we had all the parking spots lined up front, running it. But that's how I made Chief, though, just by linking up with somebody and just being like, yo, because we can do more together than we can do individually. But we still had our individual things that we did where we broke away from each other. But for the most part, we were 1 and 2. We were they called us the Wonder Twins. Shout out to my boy Jeff Newell. Shout out. But Jeff. The other one, another Jeff. But my other one is for folks who either just come in or been in. Take every opportunity that's in front of you. That's an opportunity to learn a new skill, opportunity to go to school and learn something, opportunity to go somewhere. You will get bored with the Navy by going to work doing your job and then coming home every day. You're going to get bored with it. And then you're going to be talking about, oh, I want to get out. The Navy isn't for me. Take those opportunities to get as much knowledge as you can. Go to school. And that leads to my next one is take something with you when you get out. Throughout my entire journey, I've always known at some point I'm going to get out the Navy. And what am I going to take with me? And so when I decided to convert from YN to LN, I knew I wanted to retire, but I knew that LN converted over to the civilian sector better. And so I was like, well, I'm going to go be a LN then, because I'm, thinking way out there. I'm chasing degrees. The Navy will take everything from you. It will take your time. It will take your energy. It will take your sanity. It will take your body. Come on, Damon. It'll have you sitting up and convalescently. People get out the Navy broken mentally and physically. Please take something with you when you get out the door, so that you don't look back and you have nothing to speak for. Whether you in for 2 years, 5 years, or 20 years, don't get out empty-handed.
Good advice. And y'all made me think about this other thing. You're not as lucky as you say you are, right? You're not as lucky as you think you are. You don't stumble into the penthouse. You know what I'm saying? You get into the penthouse because somebody wants you in there. And somebody lets you in there. Somebody think you're going to add to that room. So if somebody think you're going to add to a room, go fucking add to it. You know what I'm saying? Go add to that room. So that's my thoughts on that. I got something real quick for y'all. Y'all gotta agree. Y'all gotta agree to something. Y'all gotta pick one. So that's all I'm gonna say is pick one.
Oh, we gotta agree to one. Oh, I was about to say, how you gonna tell me what I gotta do?
No. What you're agreeing to is picking one, right?
Okay.
Pick one, right? All right. I'm going to start with Damon, right? So it's going to be
shit.
Damon and then Tisha. Damon and then Tisha. Damon and then Tisha. We got to be fast, though. We got to be fast. PTS or Seaway? Damon. We got to be fast. We got to be fast.
Say one more time.
I got it.
PTS or Seaway? Damon,
Seaway.
PTS or Seaway? Why?
I don't know. Simple. Easier. I don't know.
He just needed. All right. Tisha, PTS or Seaway?
Seaway.
Why?
Oh, I gotta say why. Because I feel like PTS pushed a lot of good people out. And I think Seaway was a better way of identifying talent and keeping in the right people.
Hey, for transparency, I'm testing this out. Like, I'm gonna use this on like my other pod, the Fat Room, but I'm testing it out right now with us.
I don't like it. I'll tell you right now, I don't like it. But
go ahead. BRS or High 3, Damon?
High 3. Because I can get. Oh, go ahead.
BRS, because they matching.
Why High 3, Damon?
Because I'm getting all my retirement. Well, I'm getting retirement at my pay grade or whatever it said. High 3.
Beard or clean shave? Damon.
Clean shave.
He a hater. He's such a hater. Beard or clean shave?
Beard. Right. I think the best thing the Navy ever could have given me was giving men beards. That's the best thing the Navy could have done for me personally.
Yeah, Damon is
and I'm saying it. I want a beard, no doubt. But
can you grow one?
Yes.
Can you grow a beard? Oh, okay.
Kind of.
LASIK. Master Chiefs in the duty section are out.
Out.
Black rank tab or camo?
Camo.
Black. Because people be looking in between your breasts like this.
Well, Navy.
Yeah, and they still don't know the fucking. I mean, Navy Times or AFN?
Navy Times.
Navy Times.
DC.
Navy Time like Shade Room.
Navy Times. Yeah, Navy Times. Hey, David, DC men are 1, 3, 4, 5 FAB Alpha. Now, remember when they changed the rate names?
Yeah.
Oh,
13, 45 B.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Rate.
LS or SK?
LS.
LS.
RS or SH?
SH.
SH.
Why?
Because what I know.
Old school. Yeah. Old school.
Crank or FSA?
Crank.
Okay, as a member of not the real Navy committee, I have not done neither.
You know what it is? It's the same thing. It's just a name. It's just a name. It's just the.
That's when they. Oh, it's the same thing. Okay, so I've heard of cranking, but now. Oh yeah, I have heard of FSA. I don't know, cranking because it sounds better.
All right, DSAT or Decade, Damon?
DSAT.
I'm assuming you'll know, right, T?
You know, okay. Nope.
Cordon Bleu or Manicotti?
Cordon Bleu.
Cordon Bleu on the ship be hitting.
I'm telling you,
nasty. That's the answer, right? Y'all are nasty.
I'm tearing those things.
I never ate that.
You know what? That was right, man. Because I remember you used to talk shit about them all the time, man.
Yeah,
I be going in on the Cordon Bleu.
Man, it took me to like making Chief to eat meatloaf on that mug, and the meatloaf was
really.
Yeah,
see, that's why you need to try the Cordon Bleu, though. I'm telling you.
I tried Cordon Bleu once in boot camp, and it scarred me for my career. Utilities are type 3s.
Ooh.
It's a tough one. I'm gonna go with utilities. And the reason why, man, that should look fresh in those utilities, man.
It did. I think I like the utilities too, because you had to iron the mugs. You got that fresh crease.
All right, so y'all
you took pride.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, I like
utilities are dungarees.
Dungarees.
Bro, no, dude, no. Them dungarees used to hug me up here, bro, and then open up at the bottom. I was not feeling them dungarees, man.
Yeah,
not like I got the experience to wear them and all that stuff, because that was how you see your sailor. You remember back in the day, you see sailors, those dungarees is what you remember. So I'm glad I got, to wear them, but bro, I like the utilities.
That's why I like that.
Command picnic or holiday party?
Holiday party.
What?
Show.
Holiday party.
They go down at the holiday party. The holiday party, a good command holiday. And for the listeners, we got a disclaimer in the beginning. Is half the shit we say on here is jokes, right? A good command holiday party gives your command a year's worth of fucking stories. Yo.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got shit to talk about for the rest of the year. Sailor 360 or CPO 365?
I'm going to say Sailor 360.
I'm going to say 360. Because 365 was when they integrated the junior sailors, right? That was the difference, right?
No, 360.
Sailor 360 had it too?
Yeah.
Then 365.
Curl up or plank?
Same thing. Man.
Plank.
Yeah, I'm a plank. Curl up hurt after you had kids.
Yeah, especially you get about 60 or 70. You get about 60 or 70, you hit different.
Yeah. Right,
but the planks are funny though, because people start shaking like booty meat.
Shaking, yo. Yo, Teach gonna get us canceled, man.
They be shaking that. I be laughing right over him too, man. He's going to hit that floor.
He's gyrating the floor. Hey, so here's a before we get up out of here, man, we've been talking for a little bit. When y'all hear somebody say that they wouldn't be here without their sailors, right? First of all, what does that mean when people say that? What does that mean to y'all?
Well, it hits a little bit different when you are older in the Navy, right? Because a lot of times, man, we have the sailors have to do their job so you could do yours, or the sailors have to do you ain't out there doing the maintenance, right? Somebody else have to do it. So they doing a lot, and a lot of the times, man, believe it or not, you try to give them all the accolades for it, but a lot of times since you're the chief and you're in charge of the division, you may get some accolades for a lot of the stuff your division get done, especially in the eyes of the commanding officer or the XO or somebody like that. Oh, his senior leggings running that division. It's good. Don't worry about it. But at the same time, them sailors was doing all that stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna point them in the right direction and all that stuff. But that's kind of what I mean by they doing most of the heavy lifting. With my guidance, but they doing most of the heavy lifting.
Right.
Yeah. Same thing, too?
Yeah. Yes. He pretty much said it. Yeah, he pretty much said it. He can stand on that.
Stand on it.
Stand on that. Yeah, exactly. Like, my sailors are the ones that's out there. They getting it. I'm only as good as them, So and they will go out there and work for you too. Like especially when they take like pride in what they're doing. I'd be like, it gives me chills sometimes when I see them like enjoying their work. And I'd be like, man, if I have one of those sailors like that, like really be getting into it and like really takes pride in what they're doing, honestly, they can get whatever they want out of me. Like, I'm a yes person to them all the way. I'm going to feed them because they're feeding me. The division is running smoothly because they're enjoying what they're doing. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're motivated. They're being competitive, whether it's friendly competitiveness within, the department, or they competing with another department or something. But it just makes everything just run smoothly. And we got so much stuff to deal with. And it's like when you got a good cohesive team, like I can sleep better at night when things at work are functioning. Cause it's been so many times I've had dreams about work. Yeah. Like, or you taking work home or you staying at work late. And if my sailors are in there and they getting in, they doing what they got to do, that just makes it so much easier for my everyday life. So yes, definitely. I would say me getting here, definitely my sailors.
Y'all hear Tish with the new mic, with the nice audio, the crisp sound. You know what I'm saying? It don't sound like she on a
I had the slur.
You know
I had the slur before. I didn't have to sure I had the slur.
Hey, we can't. I don't think we could leave without acknowledging the fact that this is the second day. Well, first of all, happy birthday, Mom. Again, happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Yeah, we actually, before you got here, we called her. We said happy birthday to her. She talked to us about
really?
some stuff. Yeah, she talked to us about some stuff. Outside of all that, we also have, it's Black History Month, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's Black History Month.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to the brown people.
Yeah,
that's the brown people.
Man.
Yeah, it's bad. I'll be honest, and we ain't got to stick here too long. But for me, I had a period of time where I rejected Black History Month. I don't know if we talked about it on our pod. We probably did. But I had a period of time where I rejected the idea of Black History Month because of the whole isolating us to the shortest month of the year, and all of that stuff. Like what we need to have a month for. Why do we need to have that type of like isolation and stuff like that? I'm not like that anymore. I think we'll get into that more like next week as well. But I do want to tell every major corporate company, especially Amazon, don't yellow, black, green, red y'all way out of none of this shit y'all put yourself in, man.
Right. I hate that term too. Yeah. I cannot stand when I hear somebody, I don't care if you're yellow, green, blue. What does that mean? Yeah. What does that mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm more so talking about like when all of these websites try to black, green, and red, the whole website out.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Put all the black movies to the front.
Who was that last year that made like the
ice
the
cream?
black
The ice cream?
Yeah, ice cream. They shut that shit
Y'all
down
quick.
They tried it.
People be trying to make that money, man. Anyway,
they tried it. It did not turn out well.
That was for Juneteenth.
Yeah, Juneteenth.
Right?
Yeah, that was for Juneteenth. Yeah, they shut that down quick. That didn't work. That did not work at all.
Hey, start on the next episode, man. I'm gonna try to hit you guys with some Black history, man. Some stories, man. Like not about who you may know. It's not probably not gonna be about Martin Luther King. It's probably gonna be about somebody who rode with Martin Luther King. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm gonna be out there. I'm looking for these people, man. I'm gonna try to get on here and tell a story, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was looking up Sydney Barber, man. I remember we talked about her from the midshipman from Annapolis. I was just kind of reigniting that, thought process. But hey, y'all, man, I've had some fun today, man. I had a great time. It's good to hear Tish with the good audio.
With a good mic.
Yeah,
good
man.
Video. Got my good video popping off.
My video messed up a couple times. We figured it out.
But just make sure you send Dumbo a picture of the back of that old other mic, man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, God. Man, that thing was fugazi.
Hey, good episode, man. Mississippi, stand up.